I don't know how well this concept will be perceived, especially today, but I'm going to talk about it anyway because I think it would have helped me substantially if I had thought more deeply about this 5 years ago. Trading is lonely. Trading one way or the other is going to test you. And some will pass the test, most won't. And those who don't and succumb to the pressure that many of them will put on themselves, all you have to do is walk away. Because that's literally all you have to do. Whether you tell everybody, whether nobody knows what you've been up to, what you've been trying, you could just walk away and it can't hurt you anymore. You can't lose any more money. You can't want to rip your hair out. No more smashing computers. No more smashing keyboards. Just walk away. And I think the thought of that alone is actually quite interesting if you think about it. Now, as time has gone on, we have found ways to make trading a little or a lot less lonely. Think of things like CNBC, Bloomberg, Fox Business. We have the discussion forums. You have the Reddits of the world that recently made a pretty big resurgence a couple years ago. And you have things like Discord and Telegram. I'm not sure who uses Telegram, but I know there are a lot of scams with Telegram. But people use it, I think. I don't, but people do. And I guess it could work. And it's a way to have more of a connection, more of a community feel, more of a community vibe, more of like a, we're in this together. It's not just me versus the hedge funds or me versus the sharks or me versus me, which a lot of times that's how it feels, at least to me. And some will say this is a good thing. We want the community, we want the forums, we want the discussions. But I would argue that in terms of long-term trading success, I think there's actually a pretty lonely component to that, and it almost has to be that way. Let me explain. But first, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Iron Beam.
Welcome to Iron Beam, the future of futures trading. With our cutting-edge chart trading feature and 300+ indicators, you can now trade directly off the chart anytime, anywhere. Delivering seamless trading across all platforms, the Iron Beam journey is supported by 24-hour trader support, low day trade margins, and no account minimums. Iron Beam brings the future into the present. Join now and augment your trading experience.
Okay, so stick with me here because I want this to make sense, but I know a lot of people are not going to like that. Because again, when you say that, oh, you know, you're Reddit or your Discord or you're this or you're that, or your person that you copy trade off of, when you take not a shot, but when you say that that's not going to help you, it hurts because you want that to be the answer. You think that that's the answer, and you want it to be the answer, but deep down, I think we kind of know it's not. I truly believe that long-term trading success is unique to you. And you can copy styles, you can copy strategies, you can even copy trade, but ultimately that's not going to work because you're going to have to adapt that to you. If I copy, and I definitely took a lot, like there's a lot of people who have influenced the strategy that I currently have today. But if I were to copy someone's strategy, like I can't do that. And you think you can in the moment, but once you go out on your own, you realize that you can't completely replicate because you're trying to replicate someone else's brain, which you do not have access to, their experiences, their emotions, their relationship with themselves, with others, with the charts, with their past, with what they went through to get to the point and the strategy that they have right now, how they manage risk. I mean, I'm 26. I only possibly could have 8 years of experience with my own money trading the markets. And as much as I want to say that that's a lot of time, in the grand scheme, it really isn't, because over the course of your lifetime and your career, ideally, you're going to be doing this for decades. But things are going to keep changing and the market's going to keep changing. And the way you interpret those changes is going to be different than somebody else, even if you think you have the same strategy. Now, back to copy trading. Why will that not work? Well, copy trading almost can't work because at some point it either gets too big or the person you're copying can't handle the pressure, the stress, and unravels. And when I say it gets too big, think of it like when everyone's on the same boat. If you go back to 2022, October of 2022, we had the bear market lows being put in. And at the time, we didn't know those were going to be the lows. I think a lot of people, I know a lot of the sentiment at the time was very bearish. The market was going to go lower. We were definitely going to go lower. That's what people were telling you. And what ended up happening? Market's gone up dramatically in the 20 months since that point. Dramatically higher. I think the root of why someone makes money in trading is not because they have a strategy that's superior to you or me. It's in the psychology and their relationship with trading, and honestly, maybe even more importantly, their relationship with themselves. You see, the longer that I observe how this game works, and it's been about 8 years, maybe a little bit more since I really started to kind of test the waters, that I got interested, but let's just call it 8 years. The longer that I observe how this game works, the more I realize what truly separates the profitable versus the unprofitable in the long term and from a consistency standpoint. Because we've all gone through phases where we are profitable for a period of time and then we lose for a while. Maybe we don't give back all the money, maybe we give back all of it and more. I know I've definitely done that. But what's the difference? The unprofitable, I find, is afraid to be alone. And that's a big umbrella topic, but here's what I mean by that. They tend to be afraid of emotions. They tend to be afraid to ask why. They tend to be afraid of journaling and learning from their mistakes. Now, I think we all say we want to learn from our mistakes, but it's one thing to say it, and it's another thing to actually do it to where it benefits you. On the other hand, the profitable embraces emotions, knows how to identify those emotions, and use them to their advantage. Emotions are not bad. Emotions are emotions. It's our relationship to them. And if I identify that, hey, when I'm angry, when I am anxious, when I'm upset, when I am whatever, I tend to do really poorly. My results are fairly poor. So understanding that and pulling back, trading with less size or not trading at all, could dramatically change the P&L that I experience and I get at the end of the year. Dramatically. The profitable ask why, and they ask why multiple times. They dig deeper into this thing. They try to understand the psychology behind the things that they do. They cut out the fat, and then they harness and use what is good and what ultimately leads them to better results. But the thing is, this is what's so unique to every individual. It makes trading one of the most mentally challenging things you will ever do, but also at the same time, one of the most rewarding, because it's almost like you're playing a game with yourself that you have the keys to. You just have to dig a little bit deeper to find them. And once you do, you can unlock something that's really, really cool. So what would my advice be? Honestly, embrace the loneliness. Embrace when it's quiet. Embrace digging deeper, finding out more about yourself, because the end result could be really rewarding. Hope was helpful. I'll leave those links to the sponsor below. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.